couple encounters a strange demon who wants their newborn child. A couple moves to a village for a new job. Soon, they discover a strange prophecy about a woman from another island and a terrible fate awaiting their baby. Can they save themselves and the village? Strap in, movie enthusiast. It's recap time. Today, we will be diving into the story of the mystical horror film Kuyang from the year 2024. So, let's start. The movie starts with a man named Bimo checking his bank balance receipt. He closes it as his wife, Sri, enters the room. Bimo tells her she doesn't have to come with him and that he won't make the same mistake again. But Sri insists that she's decided to go with him. A man named Tarno arrives to pick up their luggage. He apologizes for being late and helps them into the car. He introduces them to Junai, the driver. After a moment of silence, Sri and Tarno fall asleep. Junai asks Bimo if he's going to the village, Muaratapa, to work as a teacher. Bimo nods and explains that it's part of his civil service assignment. Junai mentions that the village has a tragic history. A flood once hit the area, causing many deaths. Junai advises Bimo not to worry and to respect the local culture, saying that if he does, the locals will respect him too. Suddenly, Sri wakes up and feels something pass by quickly. She looks out the car window and sees a flying, fiery head, causing her to scream in terror. Sri tells Bimo about the flying head on fire, but Junai suggests she might be mistaken. Bimo advises her to rest. When Sri feels nauseous, they all get out of the car. Suddenly, they notice something moving in the bushes. Bimo calls Tarno and Junai over. They tell everyone to get back in the car and then continue their journey. By morning, they reach the dock, but Sri looks upset. Tarno tries to comfort her, explaining that the sight of flying coffins is common here because coffins aren't buried but hung from trees. He says these things happen when the person inside the coffin practices black magic. If neglected after death, the spirit might still seek its prey, but there's nothing to worry about. Later, Bimo and Sri meet Mr. Tingan, a native language teacher at Muaratapa Secondary School, and the village secretary, Ampong. Ampong informs Sri and Bimo that the village head asked him to pick them up by boat. Sri and Bimo board the boat and set off. After they leave, Mr. Tinjan asks Tarno and Junai if they've seen anything unusual. They confirm, mentioning they saw a Kuyang and a Ruang. Sri and Bimo disembark from the boat in a very isolated area. They arrive at Muaratapa Secondary School, where the principal, Mr. Kasno, welcomes them and shows them the house they'll be living in, which is right next to his. He explains that there's no electricity, so they'll need to use oil lamps. Mr. Kasno invites them to his house for a meal and tells them that there are only 7 students in the school, divided between the 3rd and 5th grades. Many people died in the flood, and most of the survivors left the village, but it's their duty to educate those who remain. He encourages Sri to teach alongside Bimo, and she agrees. Mr. Kasno then throws some food outside, explaining that it's a local custom. Noticing Bimo and Sri's unease, he laughs and assures them it has nothing to do with spirits. It's just a way to give back to nature in return for what they've taken from it. Bimo tells Mr. Kasno that he saw a strange old couple in the woods. Mr. Kasno explains that they are Blue Alang and his wife, Tambi Nyai. He feels sorry for them because the villagers boycotted them, blaming Tambi Nyai for the flood and saying her black magic caused it. Mr. Kasno tells Bimo and Sri not to worry and leaves. The next day, they are taken to the school. Mr. Kasno introduces them to Anka. He also introduces them to Sahen, who takes care of the school. They gather the children and introduce Bimo and Sri as their new English teachers. Sri starts her lesson. When she turns back from the board, she sees the ghosts of children standing there. She gets very scared, then they suddenly disappear, and a student gives her some unique stones as a gift, saying they protect against evil and demons. When Sri returns home and hangs the stones, she tells Bimo about seeing the ghost children. He reassures her, saying it might just be due to work stress. That night, while they're sleeping, Bimo hears knocking around the house. He opens the door. Tambi Nyai enters the house. By this time, Sri is awake. Tambi Nyai touches Sri's stomach, recites something, and then leaves. Bimo and Sri tell Mr. Kasno about Tambi Nyai's visit, and he reassures them that there's nothing to worry about. She only touched Sri's belly. Later, they hear noises and rush to the classroom, where they see Mayang being pulled into the roof. Bimo stands on a chair to look inside, and Mayang suddenly appears with a terrifying face, scaring Bimo, who quickly gets down. In another room where Sri is teaching, Mayang and other children appear, pointing to Sri's belly and telling her to open the door. Sri is terrified. Bimo and the others come and comfort her, explaining that Mayang got possessed. The next day, Mr. Kasno visits them and says the school is closed due to the incident, and the village head wants to see them. Bimo and Sri go to meet the village head. The village head greets them and introduces them to a shaman named Mina Uwe. Mina Uwe touches Sri's hand and reveals that she is pregnant. Ampong remarks that she should not have come to the village. Mina Uwe then explains that the village has a prophecy. A woman from another island will come and bear a child who will become the devil's accomplice, helping the devil take its full form. This is why Tambi Nyai wants to take their child. Mina Uwe orders Ampong to boil some betel leaves and add salt to them. Suddenly, Sri starts acting strange. Her eyes turn gray and she begins to walk upside down. Mina Uwe declares that Sri is possessed. Ampong brings the betel leaves, and Mina Uwe squeezes the liquid from them into Sri's mouth. Sri immediately returns to normal, but then faints. Ampong suggests to the village head that they should kill Tambi Nyai before she fully becomes a Kuyang, and warns that if they don't, her body will be guarded by blue alang. The village head hesitates, saying they have no evidence. Ampong insists they should at least banish the couple. The village head and the secretary go to Tambi Nyai's home, but they find it empty. Mr. Tingen arrives and asks Kasnu how a child could get possessed when he has placed divine protection around the school. Kasnu admits he threw away sawang leaves, thinking they were trash, and notes that Mayang was wearing a basil bracelet. Mr. Tingen then reveals that the demon possessing Mayang is much stronger. Bimo asks Mr. Tingen for a basil bracelet to protect his wife, but Tingen says he has no more left. When Kasnu notices what Tingen is wearing, Tingen explains that it's a strand of Kuyang hair, the only thing he found on the bed when the Kuyang killed his wife and child. The hair, he explains, recognizes its owner and will move towards it. Bimo rushes inside the house and tells Sri to pack up immediately, insisting they leave right away. He's determined not to let her end up like Mr. Tingen's wife and child. Bimo tells her that Tingen will arrange for a boat. When Tingen arrives, he informs Bimo that the boat's owner doesn't want to risk the journey at night, so they'll have to wait until morning. To protect them, Tingen places porcupine quills and garlic around the house. That night, the house is shaken by intense knocking and rattling. Terrified, Bimo and Sri retreat into a room, locking the door and holding each other in fear. In the morning, they discover that someone has set the dock on fire, making it impossible to leave, as it was their only way out. When they reach the dock, they see that many villagers are in terrible condition, and Bimo is told that they are possessed. Suddenly, Sri disappears. Panicked, Bimo searches everywhere. He finds Mayang and asks her about Sri. She silently points towards the bushes. Bimo rushes over and finds Sri's clothes and a bracelet. Recognizing the bracelet as belonging to the village secretary, Ampong, Bimo immediately suspects him. He confronts Ampong, accusing him of kidnapping Sri. Bimo demands that Ampong release his wife. Ampong shows Bimo his bracelet, insisting that he didn't do anything wrong. Bimo suddenly recalls that Tingen has a similar bracelet. At that moment, Mina Uwe arrives and suggests that if Tingen abducted Sri, then he likely set the dock on fire as well, implying that he might be a follower of Tambi Nyai. Mina Uwe urges Bimo to focus on saving his wife first. They all set out to find Sri in the jungle. Bimo eventually finds her sitting near a tree, clearly unwell, and takes her back to the house. Mina Uwe claims that Sri is under Tambi Nyai's spell and begins reciting verses over her. Meanwhile, the village head, Bimo, and Kasnu head out to kill Tambi Nyai. When they confront Tambi Nyai, she reveals that she's not the only one with the black magic of a Kuyang. She claims she was actually trying to protect Sri and that it's Mina Uwe who truly wants to become a demon and needs Sri's child to do so. Back at the house, Mina Uwe removes something from Sri's belly that Tambi Nyai had placed there for protection. Mina Ue declares that nothing can protect Sri now and that she will take her baby. Meanwhile, Tinjan and Sahin discover that Mina Ue is the real demon when Tinjan's Kuyang hair begins to move, signaling that she is the one who killed his wife and child. Mina Ue emerges and stabs everyone. Tambi Nyai, now a Kuyang, appears to protect Sri and confronts Mina Ue. During their fight, the house catches fire. When Bimo returns, he finds the house ablaze, but Tinjan, who is still alive, has managed to save his wife. Tinjan tells Bimo to destroy Mina Ue's body before she can return to her human form. Bimo locates Mina Ue's body and burns it. Mina Ue, in her Kuyang form, screams and falls. Bimo then stabs her heart, which is hanging by her head, ensuring she is dead. The next morning, Bimo and Sri return to the school and resume teaching. They see Tambi Nyai and Blue Alang standing outside. Soon after, they are informed that Tambi Nyai and Blue Alang have passed away peacefully in their home. I hope you liked the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. Thank you for watching and see you next time.